It's the second coming to EFN. Two sides of feats are determined who wins, who sinks or swims, breaks or bends. Entertainment Fight Night, we at it again.
Hello, this is War with Words, and I bring to you Season 2 of EFN Entertainment Fight Night. Today I present to you Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch of the Fantastic Four, versus Bobby Drake, aka Iceman of the X-Men. Now the first video were the feats for the Human Torch, while this second video will be the feats for Iceman, and the third video will determine who the winner is. Now let's begin.
First, for Iceman, to cover the extent of his freezing powers. Here, he freezes every single molecule of Legion's body. Though this was out of character, and not something he usually does, it does show how much he can do. He freezes a nuclear reactor after it goes off. He can get to absolute zero, or very close to it. It can get to negative 150 and negative 200 degrees, and I believe negative 200 is absolute zero, by the way. He drops the temperature to absolute zero in Juggernaut's helmet instantly. He freezes hell, even though it does make him tired and almost pass out afterwards. But it's to be noted that there's no ambient moisture in hell, and usually, obviously on Earth, there is. He freezes the insides of a mammoth. He freezes the blood flow to Emma Frost's brain. Freezes parts of a celestial ship. Freezes a harpy, showing it works on robots and magical things. Shields himself from and kind of holds off Hawk with his freezing abilities. He freezes someone solid with just a touch. He freezes someone's hand mid-attack and almost gives them hypothermia just from the slight exposure. He cools a wall to nearly absolute zero. Creates an ice kingdom in an instant. Separates and reattaches mid-attack and then freezes someone with a heat ray. Freezes Greyhawk, even though he has to maintain it or Hawk will break free. And freezes Apocalypse so that he can barely move, even though he does break free. For control, he turns ice into water, showing he can go opposite directions to control water and not just, cold and heat and such. He can attack as water vapor. He unfreezes equipment on the ship. Reforms from others' moisture. You see, he basically uses it as healing for himself and takes away from others and defeats them with it. Can be at two places at once. Blocks Sunfire's powers, which is very relevant to this fight because Sunfire also has fire powers to an extreme level. And here it shows that he can stop him from basically flaming on in this instant. He can make a clone or an army. He can get rid of poison by basically remaking his body, getting rid of the old water molecules and getting new ones. Can see body temperature to get past telepathic or psionic meddling. Can reform from just a few crystals. He can create sentient, free-roaming clones. Can turn big and hawking, which obviously gives him more strength. Can make a giant ice mech to fight other giant beings. Can have multiple limbs and even multiple forms in one clone or construct that he has fighting some guards. He can make a huge Voltron construct, again, fighting monsters and being giant size. Fights some Sentinels with a giant construct. Has another huge construct, and this time in the form of a monster, though it does almost tire him out. For proof of super strength of his constructs, this golem throws a bus. He can make some non-sentient clones who can at least fight and hold off Juggernaut and can make wings to fly. Gets a lot bigger and stronger as he gains mass. This is proof, as I believe he's fighting Frenzy, who's a 70-tonner, and Iceman's usually nowhere near that. He can sense moisture in the air, again. Can make more ice clones and duplicates. And for offense, here he is blowing up a huge part of a building or skyscraper. He could turn big and crush the Red Hawk, who has fought Green Hawk well, Juggernaut, Thor, Iron Man, and so on. He destroys a house in an instant, uses spikes to destroy a helicopter, gives his enemies hypothermia to stop the fight before it happens, showing how well he controls the code and how quick it acts, and even knocks Juggernaut back with a blast of ice. For his defense against heat, which is obviously very important against someone like Human Torch, who can go up to sun level, or as he calls it, Nova level of heat. Here he reforms in a desert, showing that it doesn't stop him from recovering. He easily survives a truck explosion and is unharmed by it. And again, explosions run very hot. He beats a fire user with ease. Survives falling into molten metal, though it does take him some time to recover. It shows that it's not the end-all be-all. Protects the X-Men from an explosion with his ice. He freezes a fire-powered guy in a museum, a large museum, in an instant, again showing him overpower fire powers. He blocks dragon fire, freezes a guy who's hot enough that he melts metal walls, freezes another fire-powered guy, and another. And just as a note, when he fought Human Torch before, though both of them were weaker at the time, he was able to cause rain to basically douse Human Torch's fire, though he did flame back on, and the two were relatively even until the X-Men broke it up. So, overall, Iceman has a great amount of offense and control. Heat doesn't seem to affect him, and he can get to absolute zero with ease, showing how strong his freezing power is, meaning Human Torch likely won't be able to melt him for a long time. And if he does, it means he reform. He can use the moisture in Human Torch's body against him, since he is still human. And he has the power to hold off the likes of Hulk and Juggernaut, so there's not even a big advantage there. So overall, Iceman's abilities seem to be more tailor-made against heat than Human Torch's are against water and cold. And that's why Iceman wins. And that's just my analysis. If you want to see more, check out the site at warwithwords.com. Subscribe to the channel below and follow me on Twitter at warwithwords EFN. And if you like action, comic book type literature, check out my books, Blade, Fortune, Darkness, and He Who Leads on Amazon.com. Thank you.